What? Let's also talk about these young Black geniuses that we will get to experience.
Yes. She's a genius. She's amazing. A genius, 19-year-old MIT student. You are a genius, and geniuses tend to get into a lot of trouble.
MIT educated genius.
Female genius.
A genius, a super genius.
A female genius, and like the greatest warrior in the world.
Are you serious?
We're getting women at the forefront of this.
Which I love.
I know.
Which I love.
I don't know you. What is your name?
Let's have some blind. Now, I know what you're all thinking. This is not Desperation coming back from the MCU, trying to bring back legacy characters because they've made a complete and utter slop of everyone's character arc, right? Let's face it, they wouldn't do that to Tony Stark. Hey, and we all know how that Captain America thing turned out, right?
Look, I get it, but you have no idea how complicated this situation is.
Well, you know what's not complicated? Shariri Williams here. This is not our first time seeing her, no. Even though she looks like a Pokemon depicted here, she's actually going to be originally from the comics, which is one of the worst runs they ever did. When you're looking at the bottom of the barrel, what do? You make it into an MCU show.
Not a great plan.
I like it. You need to be conscious of the way that you look. Walking around here with that ash on your head.
But before you get into the Ironheart trailer, it's a good thing that we must know is that this is nothing like Tony Stark. Shariri Williams is nothing like Tony Stark, the man who invented it from a bunch of scraps, which I'm not going to use because everyone else has in their videos. They are going to be completely different.
The story of Ironheart is not a story about the mantle of Iron Man getting passed. If anything, it's the opposite.
Even though that the MCU has been on a steady downward spiral, burning and destroying everything in its path, they decided to release this, and it's probably going to be released all at once of Ironheart. Even though that has been completed for years, you can't help but laugh at the decline of the MCU since Endgame. So who else is excited for Ironheart? They're pushing and forcing this to the point where she was probably only 3 years old, and she comes across of somebody who was able to build a nuclear bomb out of a thing of mud, sticks, rocks, and a thing of toilet paper. She comes off as that kind of genius, but let me tell you, she is not going to be compared to Iron Man at all because she had a hard life, because she had no father, and that's exactly what the MCU is trying to push now at this point, especially with Ironheart, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But make no mistake, she is not Tony Stark. She's better, she's stronger, she's diverse. She is that much of a genius because we didn't need another self-insert of Tony Stark, so MCU is going to give us Ironheart.
Sure about that? You sure about that? That's why? You sure about that? You sure about that's not why?
Let me know in the comment section below. Are you going to be watching Ironheart? I know I'm going to be just to give you guys a season review once it is over, but let me tell you what, this is going to be something that is going to get Tony Stark a run for his money. How can you compare to these characters? I mean, just look at him. So pathetic now. How dare he? I mean, it's never like we found out that Robert Downey Jr. was ever going to come back.
Let me ask you the question. If I pick the jersey back up and put it on, wouldn't you feel a little bit like, oh,
no.
crap?
No.
Oh.
Here's what I think.
Right.
They go through a few semi-lackluster Avengers movies without you. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Here's the scene. There's a moment where the world's fate is at stake and they realize they need a super genius. And then they figure out how to restart that time machine.
Great.
Come on.
Is that...
The way people would freak out if you came back. Come on.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Well, this is the next product, my dear sinners, and let me tell you, I'm no more excited than the rest of you are. You're going to get to see Shariri Williams back as Ironheart, and I'm telling you right now, they're probably going to dump all of this on D+. Kevin Feige, at the time of releasing that, never thought RDJ was going to come back, and it's going to be his worst nightmare. You know what? I am too negative. I am too harsh on some of these characters. This is a new leaf for me. You know what? I want to be more optimistic. I am going to be more positive. I am going to be more sensitive. Let's see how the trailer's doing.
Yes, yes.
But she's a genius, so you know.
I am so excited for little Black girls to see this one in particular, even more than the first one. I'm so excited for us.
come down a little bit, bring it down a notch.
Look, I am never going to tell somebody what they can or cannot like. But when you introduce a character like this, and if you think that Shariri Williams here is the best thing since canned bread, go ahead, enjoy, have fun, go nuts. But when it's been pushed this far down our throats, they never did that with Tony Stark. But hey, remember, there's definitely no comparison. Well, it's very nice to see Dominique Thorne, though, who does hold herself as a very nice, very respectful young girl. She does seem very professional during interviews, and honestly, she just wants this to be a good show. So I have to commend her for that. It's very refreshing to see it once. But Jesus, fuck, what happened to Alden Ehrenreich? I know this is what happens when you turn to the Star Wars side of things, but Jesus, fuck.
Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
Don't you all just love seeing things like this? Good old-fashioned MCU humor? What he needs to say is live, laugh, toaster bath, because that's what I'm going to need after watching this show. I honestly think that Ironheart was just made to reflect a more modern audience and to reflect the world we live in today.
And to reflect the world we live in today. I want to hurt myself.
This show is going to be what it was meant to be. And honestly, at this point, we can all pretty much read between the lines on what they were trying to do, and even the point that Disney's at. But let's face it, this is where we're at in the MCU. How did we go from this all the way down to this? It's just been a sad downward spiral. And you know what? Oh, God, you know what? That's all I've said on this enough. Thank you all so much for watching me. Please like this video, share this video, and as always, until we meet again.